Hey guys, gals, friends, and pals, this is Paul EastXTwitch, and we are checking out Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX for Xbox. It's also on PlayStation, Switch, and Steam. It's a remake of a classic Sega Master System game, which I'm excited to check out. And I've got Tom, Perfect Zero, and Mike.
I'm talking.
So let's do this. A long time ago, on the distant planet Ares, in case you didn't know, Alex Kidd was the original Sega mascot. A young man trained day and night to master shell-core martial disciplines. Yeah, on the Sega Master System, before Sonic the Hedgehog came along, Alex Kidd was the platforming mascot. Audio is still up. Alex wasn't aware, but the Redaxian region was under threat from Janken the Great and his minions. How about now, Lyle? We've got this nice animated intro here. You know that's new. And this is where the incredible story begins. I really like the music so far, too. Even though Lyle keeps complaining about it. Well, that's fine for today. Gut roar. I think it's time to go home. I hope that Master Nurari has made something delicious to eat. Alright. So here we go. It's very colorful. You got parallax scrolling. Interesting art style. There was no way to escape. It was also fast. How strange. Looks like a guy got turned to stone. That's not good for him. You can punch blocks and get money out of it. I don't think I've ever played an Alex Kidd game, but if I did, it was when I was a young boy. So... Oh, cool,
Did you actually
Mobox.
own a Master System?
I did not. I did have a Master Gear converter as an adult for the Sega Genesis. But yeah, I basically missed out on the time when Alex Kidd was popular. Ooh, you can't touch enemies at all, which I guess I should have anticipated. That's okay, we're just learning how it works right now. But they do say this is a challenging game. Yeah, I wasn't expect. What was that? There's a lot to learn here. That time it gave me a 1-up, which kind of makes up for that guy appearing and killing me. So an interesting thing about Alex Kidd is Sega was originally making a game based on Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball. You've seen that show, haven't you, Tom?
Oh, well, how many iterations of it? Also, how many of the movies? Because there are a lot of them.
There are, but original Dragon Ball is kind of its own thing. Compared to Dragon Ball Z, it's a lot different. You know, it's set during Goku's childhood, and it's more adventure-based.
Yep, and there's also the Dragon Ball DB and the whole Vegeta series and all the other follow-ups.
Wow. This is going to take some getting used to. I can't stop dying. What does this Y button do? I just used it. Oh, it gave me projectiles.
So you might just want to look at the menu for about 2 seconds.
Why?
So you can see what the controls are.
It doesn't tell you. Wait. Options, controls. There we go. Yeah, Y, use item. Jump, punch, shoot. Switch items with the bumpers. Switch graphics mode. Let's try that. Let's see what it looked like as a Sega Master System game. Woo! That's a lot different. Check it out, Tom.
I distinctly remember it looking better than that.
Well, you might be thinking of Wonder Boy, because remember, Sega also had the Wonder Boy series going.
Yep.
And both of them have recently received a nice remake like this. I mean, the Wonder Boy one was like 4 or 5 years ago as well. But, yeah, the fact that you could switch between the two visual and sound styles at any time is really amazing. Ah! That stupid ghost guy. What do I do when he appears? I don't even know what to do. Just run?
Yep.
Floor it! Ah! Be careful, Jenkins' army is very powerful. Who's Janken? Okay, it looks like if you get him off the screen, you're safe from him. So that's good. I'm getting all this money. I don't know what the money does, but probably a good thing.
Get that piece of paper.
Yep, got it. I don't know what that was either. Maybe it was it was probably like a higher currency of money or something, higher quantity.
Yep. This old school gaming. You don't know what you're doing until you do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
You know what you're doing.
They've remade the graphics and sound quite well, but they're keeping the gameplay basically obtuse like the original. without all the tutorial stuff we might expect from a modern game.
Yeah, but little hints would have been nice.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind. Because this... People say this is hard, and it could be that you have to use a guide or something to help you know where to go and things like that. We'll see. Can't crawl, that's too bad. It is a lovely game, and the music is catchy.
You sure there wasn't a 16-bit version of Alex Kidd? I could have sworn there was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was at least one Sega Genesis game. Maybe only the one. Can I swim
I'm pretty
forever?
sure this graphics is just taken from that.
Ah! Oh, no. This is totally newly redrawn. Alright, well, we're still just learning
Well,
how
at least
things
the art
work.
style, then.
I'm sure it's based on the character art and whatnot. There was no way to escape. Yeah, we got that. It was also fast. How strange. Okay. We're going to do better this time. I was going the right way. There's no way to go the other way. But there was also at least one Alex Kidd arcade game. Okay, it looks like when you get the ring you want to use it, since the projectiles make it a lot safer to move around. But the fact that every little box you break could have the guy who can instantly kill you in it, it's kind of mean-spirited.
Oh, then you just don't break the blocks. You only break the stars.
Yeah, but I may need the money for something. I wish I knew how that worked.
Just break the stars.
Oh, there he is again. Run! Ah, God, run. Get him off the screen. There we go, I got him off the screen. Ah. There's no going back once you move.
You should definitely try to see what you can do about that boss with a skull on it. No way anything bad could happen.
Well, I fell past it, but I think the first time I stepped on it, it summoned the instant death guy. I wonder what his name is. This is the kind of game where you probably would want to read the manual first, because you know back then they gave you tips and stuff, and they really expected you to have read it. So that's different. I know there's a nice physical collector's edition of this one, too. Ah! Landed on the little dragon guy. Yeah, I mean, like, other than memorizing where he is, there's nothing I could have done about that. I could not have seen him the way I was falling. This makes me look like I'm bad at platformers, but I'm actually good at platformers. It's just really tough.
Sure. You know you say that for every platformer you play, right?
I say that I'm good at them. Clear. I thought I put turbo on. Clear. Alright, is turbo on? This is weird. Please don't tell me my turbo button is broken.
Your turbo button is not.
Oh, I know what it is. I haven't.
You unplugged it?
It's silly. Yeah, it's not plugged in. So
That would also have that effect, yes.
yeah, I could make it a little bit easier by plugging it in, or we could just live with it. Oh, it's Vinny and Drabe. Drabe got Metroid Dread Special Edition today. Congratulations. I like a nice special edition, especially for a cool game like that. You know Metroid Dread's going to be good. And Vinny remembers that the original game was pretty hard. I believe it. Please don't land on anything bad. Okay. It would help if I knew what the money was for. Like, is there even any point to getting this money?
Buying stuff. Here, that's what money's good for.
You would think, right? But how do we know?
Usually.
I mean, God, your character automatically floats up while you're underwater. So I just floated into that fish. And almost did it twice in a row. But this is from a time when they were still figuring out how... That was a projectile? It just looked like bubbles. Okay, we're going to plug in the turbo adapter just to make life easier. But it's from a... I mean, they were still figuring stuff out, and so conventions of platforming, they're not necessarily all going to be present here. Plugging that in. Now let's plug our controller in and see what little difference it makes. Okay, stop vibrating. Thank you. All right. Now we've got.
Hey, how'd you know I was vibrating?
That's just the kind of guy you are.
Yes. High energy.
There you go. Welcome back, Lyle. Lyle, you were right. It's a very hard game. I wonder if it'd be easier with the old school graphics because you could tell the hitboxes better maybe and that kind of thing.
Try it.
Alright, for a little while we'll try it because we are just going over the same area again. The old school look has a certain clear charm to it as well. Oh, there's the death guy, and he got me! Do you think he always spawns there? I gotta one-up the next time. Thank you for that, at least. But I've lost my ring that would make life easier.
Yeah, those games typically enemies tend to spawn in roughly the same spots.
Yeah, so I probably just need to watch out. And look, one of these boxes has a skull on it, so I bet I don't want to hit the one with a skull on it.
You definitely do.
Live on the edge, Paul. Live on the edge.
It's a one-up. That's exactly what it is.
Tom, do you remember Courage the Cowardly Dog? Did you ever watch that show?
Oh, yes. I love Courage.
Nice. Well,
Yep.
You might not have heard because they just announced it, but there's going to be a Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog movie.
That's not going to be that good. I've not been happy with pretty much anything with Scooby-Doo since I was a kid.
Well, I don't love Scooby-Doo, but I'll be on board to see Courage in it, at least. And, you know, it's got Eustace and whatever the old man's name was, they're in it.
Yeah, but unless it was done by the people that did Courage, it's not going to be that good. If it's done by the Scooby-Doo people, it's going to just spin off in the wrong direction.
Well, it'll probably be more like that. But again, I'm just happy to see Courage back, so I'll give it a shot.
As long as it's not as bad as the live Tom and Jerry movie.
Did you actually watch that?
I watched about 5 minutes of it before I immediately turned it off and refused to watch another second.
What did you think was so bad about it?
Everything. And I even think what's her name is cute, and I would normally watch whatever she's in just because she's in it.
Oh yeah, what's the lady from?
I can never remember her name. She has an Italian name.
But is she in something I would have seen?
She's in a bunch of stuff, but it's one of those people like I don't pay any attention to that person. She's a decent actor, or actress, but it's like whatever. Only reason I turn anything on that she's in is just because she's cute.
Yeah, sometimes that's enough.
Usually I'm pleasantly surprised by the movie because, like I said, she's actually a good actor. But it's just like, no real investment.
No, the water is different. But yeah, you still float upward automatically, so you have to fight that while you're moving around the fish and stuff. Just hold down the whole time, basically, to avoid floating into them and dying.
It's a commentary on life. You have to fight the current to get to your destination.
I guess you do. So, Lyle doesn't seem to hate Scooby-Doo. The Scooby-Doo live-action movies, the two that came out in theaters, are somewhat okay, although I really don't like how Scooby looks in them. They came out a few years before he could have really looked good, you know?
Yep. Icky, 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 where are you? You got some friends to do now.
Now look at this. I have to... No, do I have to set that off? I guess I don't. Good, I can break those blocks. Okay, but I've got
definitely go after the skull.
I don't think that's a great idea. And also...
I think it's a great idea.
It's going to be hard enough not to get hit by the frog. But I did it. Alright.
Now go hit that block.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard was terrific as Shaggy. He ended up being the official Shaggy voice actor for like 20 years afterwards. And he was sad that they dropped him from the newest few Scooby-Doo things. Understandably. Ooh, another ring. Good.
Careful
yeah, and
question block.
The scripts were written by James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy fame. So, yeah, I got an onigiri. Hey, look at that. We made it to a map screen or something. Marble plane. It's time to switch to fancy graphics. Yeah, the old school graphics actually seem to make it a little bit easier. You're just the boundaries and stuff are a little more obvious to me. Yeah, that's how it was for me as a kid, Lyle. I never... My ex, Deborah, she was actually a huge Scooby-Doo fan. Like, she just unapologetically loved every Scooby-Doo thing. But, yeah, and here we learn what money can do.
It can be used to buy things. Am I correct?
It can be used
I
to
would
pay
have
for
never
goods
seen
and
that.
services.
Never saw that coming at all.
Well, I don't know what these items do. Again, being that this is an old game, it doesn't tell you.
The bike makes you go faster. The ring makes girls want to marry you. And the box of tissues is for private time.
Oh, lordy. You know, I... Don't say that. That's horrible. Malaysian director? What is Lyle talking about? Oh, look at that. I'm actually riding on my motorcycle. What does this
makes you
do?
go faster.
Ah! Ah! Oh, and you can run into things with the motorcycle and it kills them. This is interesting. Wow. Why not?
Isn't that how motorcycles work in real life?
This red thing was an obstacle, which I could not tell because it doesn't look like anything. What does it look like in the other mode? So that's a dangerous object, apparently. Let's jump over it. Stealing... I mean, it basically stole the motorcycle because you wouldn't know that was bad just by looking. Oh, not James...
It looks like a stoplight.
Oh, good call, Lyle. I was actually talking about James Gunn. But James Wan is a good director, too.
I never even heard of him.
It's the director of Aquaman. And one of the Fast and Furious movies. Or two of them, I forget.
So you're saying he did one decent thing and a couple not so decent things?
Well, a lot of people actually like his Fast and Furious movies. They're definitely an acquired taste because, you know, they're deliberately dumb. But if you can get on the right wavelength, that kind of movie can be fun, I think.
Yeah, it's basically turn your brain off for an hour and a quarter.
Yes, but not in like an offensive way, like say with a Michael Bay Transformers movie. It's more of an innocent way, I would say. You know, like the movie knows that it's being silly, and you just gotta not worry about how silly it is.
How are Michael Bay movies offensive? They're equally just dumb.
But they're bad dumb. They're like cynical dumb is how I would perceive them. And I don't think Michael Bay necessarily knows what he does is dumb. I think that's just how he is.
That's how most of them are. And he's an American director, so of course he's more ego than substance.
Well, he certainly is that. So I think what I'm afraid of with this game is that there's going to be some people who buy it because they like remakes of classic games. And so they like the concept of playing an old Sega game like this. And they're just not going to be prepared for how relatively mean-spirited it is compared to newer games.
It's not mean-spirited, it's just
I mean, it's
not
very
as friendly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's very unforgiving and somewhat unfriendly. So you just have to have a lot of tolerance for dying over and over, a lot of times when it's not your fault. That kind of thing. But, I mean, back then when we were kids, a lot of people were totally fine with this kind of game, you know, and they'd just play it for hours and they'd get all the way through eventually. Yeah,
that's
you're right,
back
Lyle.
when there weren't any other options.
There you go.
Because every game was basically that.
But you know, the closest comparison to this game is Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap HD, which is a very beautiful game. Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap is a little more modern feeling, even though it's still an old game. It's not as tough as this at all. So there's a difference. Yeah, you're right. When you were young, you got a game and you were just stuck with that game for probably a long time, so you would try everything in it. He turned them all to stone. Yeah, he wiped out everything. I must hurry up. I hope Nurari's fine. I don't even know who Nurari is. There we go. Yeah, those red balloons hurt you, Lyle, even though they don't look like they would be bad or anything. So you just have to jump over them. And also, I lost all the items I had. even though I hadn't used them. And again, that's kind of an old-fashioned thing. If I spent all my money on that, I think I should retain them if they haven't been used. Yeah, exactly. What a lovely game. I hit this. Your movement in this is not as intuitive, not as easy to navigate as, say, a Mario game or whatever. So it's very easy to accidentally bump into things. And that kills you. One hit kills you from anything. So, Tom, I know you've been playing No Man's Sky. What have you guys in our audience been playing today? Vinny, Son of Mongbox, Dre Blinken, Icky. Oh, wait, this is a... There we go. Oh, wait. I can stand on the balloon? That killed my motorcycle, but I can stand on it.
Yes,
Let's see how
red
it
light. Red lights don't kill you. They just make you stop.
I guess you're right. Do you think I could have, if I jumped over it when I was on the cycle, I would have kept it? Probably, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah, here's more of them. But it would be really hard to keep it here because now they got a bunch of them. Longbox's son has been playing Minecraft. I think she means her son. Hey, congratulations! Vinny beat Grand Theft Auto 5 Xbox version, which I never beat. Uh-oh, a boss! Where do you think you're going, brat? Let's see what he looks like in the other mode. He is very weird looking. He actually looks like a parasite from the anime Parasite the Maxim. Don't you think, Tom?
Not really. He looks like a hand.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, his head. I mean,
Yes, but not like Parasite.
oh, close
Parasite's
enough.
It's very different.
Yeah, it would be hard to tell that it was hand. Okay, so this is going to be rock, paper, scissors. Something's happening with the villagers. I must go see Master Narari. Haha, you'll have to get past me first. I'm Guseka, the third commander of the new king of Redaxian, Janken the Great. New king? Oh, hey, Tyler. Yes, I hate that as well. I challenge you to a duel of Jankenteam, which is rock, scissors, paper. Why do they translate it? Choose rock, paper, scissors before the music ends. Win best of 3. All right, go ahead. Let's do this.
What's so hard about the 2 factor? I never have a problem with it.
How am I changing it? He beat me. I didn't even know how to change it. Oh, up and down. There we go. You just pick the one you want with up and down, and then the music will stop. Ha! I beat him that one. And the visuals are cool. We'll go with rock. What do you think of the looks, Tyler? I lost. That's very arbitrary. Ah! Mongbox has been playing The Walking Dead.
Which
That's
one?
right. I died and had to continue because of random chance.
Which Walking Dead game? There's several of
Oh.
them.
Yeah, is she maybe one of the Telltale ones, do you think? Or something different?
There is that really new one, but I didn't think that was out yet.
I have no idea. Well, this does have at least... It's got checkpoints, so I didn't have to start all the way back to the beginning. Although I bet if you could start at the beginning and just manage to not die for a long time, you'd be a lot more powerful because of the being able to buy the bike and things like that.
You try that, Paul.
Too bad.
The not dying
no.
part.
Well, yeah, I should work on that, right? But you cannot backtrack to the shop, which again is very old school. Ugh. I landed on the frog. Man, this is going to be a game that is very easy to respect artistically, but hard to actually recommend. Like, if I was reviewing this, I'd have to be like, by the way, if you didn't play the original, just be prepared for this being harder than you can imagine.
Honestly, what happens with a lot
Telltale.
of these games?
That they're too hard? Or just
No,
too...
that they basically end up just being for nostalgia fans. And most people that come into it new just end up not liking it.
I can see that being a distinct possibility. And I'm not saying that I don't like it, but I'm just saying, like, you really have to tune yourself to the wavelength Because the world has moved on from games being this arbitrarily difficult.
Not really. There's plenty of games that are like that. It's just
No,
most of them at least give you some kind of hint.
The main source of the challenge here is your movement and hitboxes. Like, it is just too easy to accidentally slip into enemies. And if your movement was, if the hitboxes were a little smaller and you had more of a range on your attack and things like that, then it would be not as bad and it'd feel a little more modern. But yeah, it's old school.
Yeah, the best school is old school.
Often that is the case. Certainly old movies used to be made a little better than modern movies, as I've complained about before. Here we go. Also, I really like the old 80s and 90s anime art style, and like newer animes do not look as good to me.
Well, for me, it's more of I don't like the CG anime. I honestly think CG anime sucks.
Yeah, I can understand feeling that way.
But pretty much anything else, like you watch My Hero Academia, I absolutely love the style on that.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Like, I would like it even more if it was just drawn like an early 90s show, but I do still love it. It's not that I don't like how it looks.
Yep.
Hey, Royal Bob. Yeah, Royal Bob says this is easier to him or less random to him than Ghosts and Goblins. That's the thing. When I accidentally slip into an enemy, which is so easy to do, it feels random, And I did lose to that boss for no reason that I could have done anything about. It's just chance. Like, just imagine getting derailed like that. Oh, I'm at this hard boss. Oops, I didn't pick the random option that would have won. It's a pain. Well, let's try again. Maybe we'll get lucky.
So basically, what you're saying is you're experiencing a classic version of any Souls game.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of fun with Dark Souls 2 and 3, especially 3.
Yeah, but that's also a game that's very arbitrary until you learn like their rules about it, which they don't make a point of telling you.
That is true. There is some arbitrariness to it. By the way, I just tied on that one. You can tie, and it doesn't hurt you, which is good. And yeah, Lyle compares it to Ghosts and Goblins. Ghouls and Ghosts. Oh, he got me there. Yeah, well, this does have unexpected things that will kill you, Bob, but what about just doing the same thing 3 times in a row? What happens if that happens? Okay, beat him once. Now it's the moment of truth. We're going to try scissors again. I guess I should read up on if there's any special trick. Yes, we did it! Go team. Ha! He got hit by lightning and turned into onigiri. And in the options, you can change onigiri to hamburger. If that suits you better.
So you're now going to go eat a hand man. That's not disturbing.
It's just a little messed up, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of an acquired taste, isn't it, Tyler? But, gorgeous. At least we get that. Why won't it let me use my ring? Can't use it, so I just gotta avoid this deadly octopus. I'm just gonna go around. Not even gonna get close to him. Wait, I can hit him from behind, though.
That's always your answer.
Why not? No, I can't hit him from behind. I better just leave him alone. Now we got seahorses. Come on, you little jerks. There we go. Wham. That's right. Okay.
Oh, Vinny wants to know what platform you're playing this on.
Oh, I am playing on Xbox Series X, but it's on all the consoles. Switch, PlayStation, and Steam. Yeah, you're right. I haven't got any achievements, have I? They may be difficult. I think there should have been an achievement for beating that first boss. I mean, that wasn't that easy. But maybe they're saving them for real tough challenges. Oh god, I gotta swim
Just
past.
a whole level completion type achievements.
Could be. We'll find out. Some of these rocks look like they could be broken, even though they're not. So, Tom, I've written one article today because I had to work and I took a long nap. But I wrote an article about the new Space Jam game. For some reason, there is going to be a Space Jam game free on
Yeah, no.
Xbox.
No, I saw that one.
So that's in case the people in the audience don't know. Make sure you check out my article on it, okay? But it actually looks decently fun. Like, it's definitely not going to be anything special, but considering that we get it for free, you know, it certainly will likely be worth playing.
I definitely would have preferred if they made it a basketball game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the natural thing to do with it. But in my article,
Yep.
I theorized about why they might have done it this way instead, and I think it has to do with
Yep.
how little time and money they had to spend on it. Because making a generic beat 'em up is not rocket science. Okay, why is he
Especially
not...
since they already have like the Battletoads engine, like just copy and paste.
Could certainly be inspired by that. Yeah, we really don't know exactly how it's going to play or anything yet. They could have shared a lot more information than they did, but oh well, we'll find out in a few weeks, won't we?
It's a licensed product, so it's going to be a you're playing it because not necessarily because it's good.
Yeah, that's about right. And by the way, you can break these blue bubbles. Let's see what it looks like in old school graphics mode. How about now, Tyler? Does that look better to you? Tell the truth. Ah. Uh-oh, that's an enemy. Crap, and I landed on it. Oh, Paul. That's what I get for trying to show off to Tyler. Oh, yeah, that's a good comparison, Royal Bob. I forgot about the Final Fantasy 15 beat 'em up, but surely it'll have a little bit in common. So, can I just punch those scorpions to death? I hope so. Yes. Okay, good. Now let's kill this Rodan-looking guy.
Funny how all the characters in these old games all look the same.
Well, they didn't have a lot of memory to work with back in the day. The original was probably like a 1 or 2 megabit game. Master, are you alright? Not even a full megabyte. Alex, difficult times are coming. Oh wait, let's see what he looks like in the old school version. There he is. Yeah, they did some good presentation changes with the fancier version. Anyway, an evil man from the kingdom of Redaxian traveled to this island and brought with him a small child. I knew immediately who it was when I saw the medallion hanging from the child's neck. Alex, you were that child. What? You are Alex Kidd, the heir to the throne of Redaxian. Hey, that's pretty cool. Time for you to face your destiny. I prepared the pettycopter for you to leave immediately. Is this like a helicopter that operates via petticoats somehow?
Speaking of petticoats, I saw a video that I know you like. They're coming out with new jackets for whatchamacallit, Akira.
You mean based on it?
Yeah. So that famous red jacket. They
Nice.
have a men's and a women's version.
Kaneda's red jacket. Yeah, that sounds rad. Ah! Oh gosh. So to float here, you have to rapidly press jump. Hey, congrats, Bob. He's 66% done with Dragon Quest VII. Royal Bob, the original Dragon Quest VII on PlayStation, I played it via emulation on a laptop back when I worked at the hotel, before I was a journalist. And I played it, I believe I got 90 hours into it. It was like either 90 or 95 or something. And I got... Oh, crap! I bumped into something and it took my copter away. What do you know? What are the odds? Anyway, I got so far into Dragon Quest VII, like I got to the castle of the last boss, and for whatever reason I got distracted and just never finished it. Now that save file is long gone, because that laptop is long gone. And that's a shame. But I think, yeah, I think Royal Bob is playing on the 3DS, though, because there's a 3DS remake of it. You started using a guide around 20 hours in? Yeah, there was some... You could do some serious aimless wandering without a guide, so I don't blame you at all for using a guide. Not all Dragon Quest games are like that, but 7 is one of the ones that's less linear. The village of Namui. Oh, what a beautiful place. Okay, what's it look like in the original version? Ooh, look at that. Let's go in here. It's not even raining in the original version, so they added a lot of personality to the fancy version. Welcome. Buy the things you need. Don't mind if I do. You can get an extra life. Get a bubble. I don't know what that is. I can get another helicopter. A pettycopter, as they call it. It looks like you might as well spend your money every time you come to the shop, because you're just going to lose it if you die.
That's basically it.
Oh, so, yeah. Royal Bob, that's a lot like with me. I got pretty far into that Final Fantasy 1 as well, but I did not finish it. Nor did I finish Final Fantasy 3, which is a shame. Both of the Windows Phones ones. When you're in a vehicle, you can't talk to the stone people, which is too bad. That sounds like fun, Bob. I'm looking forward to being off next week because, first of all, I want to be able to write articles in the daytime when people will actually be more likely to read them. But also, I've got several reviews to work on. Like, I'm supposed to review that new Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection and the Capcom arcade thing, and I haven't had a chance to play them because I'm just too busy with work and stuff. And I could be playing one of those right now instead of this, but we got this game to stream, so I need to stream it. So, and it just came out. It's a good choice to stream. Oh look, Daruma enemies. Let's look at this in old school. Did I shoot through the money? It looked like I shot it. Oh no! The death guy. The death guy. Just run for it.
I actually kind of like the copter in the old style better.
Yeah, let's look at that again. It looks like I'm pedaling it, huh? Maybe that's not as obvious in the new style.
No, you can still see. I think it looks cooler in the old style.
Yeah, it's drawn in more of a flat 2D way. Oops, there we go.
And it also looks less like face.
There you go. Alright, let's go back to the fancy rain. Look at all that parallax scrolling of the clouds. I love parallax scrolling. Please help me. Uh-oh. Well, it turns out that trying to punch the... What's that sound? Can you stop him?
Well, if you can hit your plastic bottle.
Yeah, I didn't know the cat was going to start messing with it.
Royal's thinking about going back to Final Fantasy series.
Ah. Gave up on Dragon Quest X already? I don't blame you. It seems...
No, he's talking about doing it after he finishes DQ.
Ah. Can I... Okay, you can hit that thing when it's dizzy, and also... I just died. Let's see where the checkpoint is. Good. Right back here. But I can't fly anymore, so it is harder. Seems that Janken and his troops were looking for something in the village. What are you looking for that's so important? Alex wonders. What could it be? Dragon Quest X, the camera's bad, Royal Bob? I actually had not heard that before. But I guess not that many people talk about it since it's Japanese. But there is rumor, I mean, people are hoping the Dragon Quest X offline version, which is getting released in Japan, will also get brought over here in English. And that would be really great.
Yes, it would be nice to have games that you can actually play without a connected internet. Especially when it's a single-player game.
Yeah, well, I mean, the original version is an MMO, but they're nice enough to turn it into a single-player game. And that'll reach a lot of people who wouldn't want to play an MMO, because an MMO is a big time commitment for one thing. So
Not to mention they typically suck when it comes to story.
Yeah, they certainly can. Although people say that Dragon Quest X has good story. I think that's one reason why they want that offline version so much. Come on, Darumas. Yeah. Yeah, Royal Bob, that Final Fantasy XI mobile game got canceled. It is vaporware.
That's good, actually.
What's this dog here? Poor dog. I promise I'll help the people. There's an achievement. Finally. Altered Beast. Pet the sad dog. Aw, and I got an item for it. Although it doesn't let me use the item with left bumper and right bumper, oddly. What's the dog look like in the old version? Oh, yeah. He's just a sad dog because his master's been turned to stone. Isn't that terrible? Breaks my heart. Really tugs at the strings.
Don't you mean the leash?
Well said. Tugs at my heart leash. Hey, Platinum Age Trick, we're glad you made it. Oh, Vinny, that would be cool. Best co-op games to play with your significant other while fooling around. Wait, no, not while fooling around. That would be an interesting article, though. Ah.
It would definitely get a lot of hits.
Technically, it's co-op.
There you go. It's a 4-on co-op. Ah. Ha! I beat it! Achievement! There's my second achievement. Wild Ox. That was close. Defeat Ox. Thanks for saving me, boy. Those ears, blessed eyes. Are you Prince Alex? The people thought you were dead. But now that you're here, Janken the Great's taken the castle, and your brother Eggle has been imprisoned. You must save him as soon as possible. I think that's Eggle because there's no A in it. Long live Prince Alex. Also, let's see the old version of this. Just looks like an old man in no rain. Yeah, give me that onigiri. That's good stuff. Now I want to eat some onigiri. What's Royal Bob saying there? Beyond PlayStation 4, the Move controller icky? Clever. Okay, old version of this. A little bit less scary, but still pretty foreboding. I'm doing okay, though. You know, it took a little getting used to the way the game works, but I am enjoying it better and not dying so much, so that's nice.
Yep, and you're even doing it with modern graphics.
Yep, which is definitely slightly harder. Ah.
You would have thought they would have updated the hitboxes when they did the regular style graphics instead of the retro.
Yeah, I think they should just make them more forgiving. Give your attack more range and make it harder to accidentally bump into things. That would be my preference. This is a really cool game. 360 Indie Games has some great games for... Oh, yeah, that's true. Royal Bob is right. The Xbox 360 had a... I do not want to go in there. There's no way that's worth it. The Skull Box will unleash the guy who will kill me. And there may be some way you can kill him, but I don't know of it. So that doesn't help me. I would say the game discourages you from taking risks, though, because it's just so easy to accidentally bump into the threats. Ah, and I just fell in the lava. Darn it, Alex. Alright, let's not... Ah! Stop! When he lands, he steps a little bit, and it makes it really hard to just stop. It's the momentum. Like, you can't kill your momentum easily, and therefore you're in danger.
But it does make it more funny when you try to do that.
It breaks my heart. Yeah, I guess you're basically correct, Royal Bob. Scorching pathway. Let's do this. Did you ever buy any actual Xbox 360 indie games, Tom? The ones that were considered indie?
Yeah, actually, I bought the Castlevania collection. I bought the Contra collection. A few others.
That's not what I'm talking about. I mean Xbox Live indie games. You know, where like little individual guys could publish to the 360.
Only remakes of classics. I tend not to just like 8-bit games in general. So unless if I have a nostalgia factor for it, I generally don't buy 8-bit games.
Well, a lot of the games that are part of the program I'm talking about were actually 3D games, although not necessarily very good-looking 3D. But
Just talking about the indie games, I did buy some of those like Games of Summer or whatever it was called back then.
Yeah, see, that you're right. Those are still indie developed games, but they had a specific indie program that was for little individual guys and not like indie developer companies, you know? So it's like you pay $50 to join the program and you can publish your very goofy games and like 10 different
no,
people.
I
might buy
remember
them.
what you're talking about. That's back in the early days.
Yes, very.
Yeah,
very
no,
long
I
time
bought a
ago.
few of those. There was one that I actually bought because it reminded me of a really, really old school RPG, and I played it and found out that it lasted about 5 minutes.
Dang.
It's like I was so disappointed because I was actually hoping they had built a proper, like, fully fleshed out game. It's like I don't mind spending the money. I would have paid more if they had.
Hey, BX Latino. I think I bought about 5 games, but I only played 1 or 2 of them. Like, I still had the same problem back then that I have now, that there's just so many games out there, so even if you're mildly interested in a dinky little game, it's hard to pick that over the more impressive games.
True. I never heard of the No Luca Luca that Royal Bob's talking about. Yeah, you?
No. I have not. Why won't it let me... It's like there's an invisible wall right there. I wish that bat wasn't there, because he's totally going to kill me by mistake or whatever. Oh, I see. Yeah, there was a ceiling. It looked like it was a different layer, but it's actually the ceiling. Okay. Now come down here and face your doom. What does this look like?
Lava.
I like it. Look at that, there's a little circle with a star in it. I wonder what's in that. But I don't see how you would get back out after you got down there. Like, it looks impossible unless there's some kind of trick to it.
No, there definitely would be a trick to it, and that star probably has something to do it. Go for it. See what happens.
Ugh. But I just gotta... Oh god, we'll try. Achievement! Magic ball.
See?
Get the telepathic
Worth it.
ball and the Mount Cave. Yeah, it was worth it for the achievement. You got me there. But I don't see how to get out, and I'm going to lose my nice fireball ability. Yeah, Tyler, I was saying that earlier. This game, or this series, started its life as a Dragon Ball adaptation. So the character was originally going to look like Kid Goku from the original Dragon Ball cartoon. But then Sega lost the license, so they changed him into Alex Kidd, and it just became its own thing.
Why don't you see if you can use that ball that you got? See if it teleports you or something.
Yeah, I don't have a way to access it. I think it might have made my fireballs bigger. Like they're making a big explosion. I don't know if they would have done that anyway. But I also see absolutely no way to get out of here without dying. Yeah, left bumper and right bumper is not switching to it, so we would have to look up what it does. Somebody look it up for me. Ah, fell and died. Yeah, there was no way around that I could see. False floor? Was that it, Spazpole? Maybe. I just know that was not fair, but I got an achievement, so I'm not going to complain. Oh no, the bad guy. No! Then he killed me. That does look like a breakable floor, but I don't see how you can... There's no way to attack downwardly. So I don't know what I could have done for that. We got a pretty nice array of people showing up over the course of the night, Tom. How are we doing on time? I guess we'll go for another 15 to 30. Yeah. We're doing all right. Oh, Spazpole won't be here on Saturday. Are you going camping again, Spazpole? I thought you said you were basically going to live in the wilderness or something. Isn't that what you told me one time? This is the best I get. Yeah, we recently watched the show Sweet Tooth. Have you gotten to check it out yet, Tom?
Sweet Tooth, yeah, I've only gotten a few episodes of it, though.
Cool. Well, you'll have to let me know when you finish it, what your overall opinion is. But we just finished it today. And it is a good show. You know, it's different from the comic. I just started reading the comic, and there's some similarities and some differences. You know, it's sort of like they're taking the overall premise but changing a lot of little details. But still, so far so good. No, it's still... I wonder what that telepathic ball does. Somebody really needs to look it up. You're going to Nantucket from Thursday through Monday. Is it for work, Spazpole? Spazpole does work a lot.
No, he's going to see a girl from Nantucket. And I won't finish the rest of that line.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. I referenced that limerick. Oh, God. It's him. It's the killer. I referenced it in my class, and most of my kids had not heard it. Yeah, because we were learning about limericks, and I was just like, there's a famous one, and it starts out like this, you know? And I told them about it.
So you picked one of the dirty ones.
Well, it's the most famous one. Of all the limericks, it's the single most famous. But it's not like they had actually heard the whole thing, so it didn't give them impure thoughts or something.
Oh, it's only the most famous because all the actual pure ones are gone now. Because nobody remembers those.
That makes sense. That looks like a platform up there. Can I actually get up there? No. The answer is no. It is too thin. Very catchy music. Yeah, I got a 1-up. That's nice. Let's kill this rock guy. Here's a star block. What does that do? Oh, it got rid of an obstacle. Oh, he's doing all kinds of scout things. Spaz, aren't you a little old to be scouting?
Depends on what kind of scouting he's doing. You don't know he could be hunting humans.
Ah. Oh, his son's a scout. How many kids do you have again? Ah, no, get up. Oh my gosh, there's 2 of them now. Ah! That,
You touched
yeah.
them.
Sorry.
You know not to do that. And
Those
they weren't
guys
even the
are
ones that killed
horrible.
him.
Well, they scare me into the lava, but I don't know how I could have gotten... That's going to be tough.
Gotta run, Forrest, run.
So didn't the bad guy come out of one of these? So I should just be very careful not to break those, and then I'll be okay. I think.
He came out of the one underneath the question block.
So the question block itself is safe?
Should be.
Alright, let's kill the bat when it comes back, and then we'll get it. Even just killing this bat is difficult because of the hitboxes, but yeah, we got it. Oh, you're right, that was a 1-up. Okay. Go, Tom. Oh, by the way, there's some 3D lighting effect going on right here. Well, I don't know if 3D is the right word, but my character casts a realistic shadow from the lava, and that's a nice touch. Oh, great, another boss. Hey, what are you doing in my volcano making so much fuss? Let's see what he looks like in the other mode. Again, he looks like a parasite to me. This one even looks even more like one of the parasites. It'd be a little bit hard to tell that was supposed to be a hand. It could be an inverted scrotum or something. Yeah, I'll just hit him with some scissors. I have to save Redaxian. Let me through. I'm Chokina, the second commander of... Yeah, I know, Janken the Great. How dare you interrupt a commander? Now I'm really mad. I challenge you to a duel at Janken Pawn. I hope you are ready. Let us begin. Alright. Royal Bob votes for scissors, so we'll go with that. You going down, buddy. Yeah! Good call, Royal Bob. Should we do scissors every time? I'm inclined to do it all 3 times and just see what happens.
Yeah, didn't hurt.
Right on. Mongbox is a bear in Boy Scouts. Wait. Mongbox, is that you or your son talking? Also, I guess I'm not familiar with the different positions, but I guess, yeah, we won just by keeping it on the same one.
You're not familiar with the positions, Paul? You need to get a copy of the Kama Sutra, then you'll know all the positions.
Oh, lordy.
Well, you kind of walked into that one.
Perhaps I did. Good thing Brandy didn't hear.
What?
Oh, he's just being naughty.
Oh. Okay.
But nice.
Oh, look. There's a cane this time. I wonder what that does. And we're going to get the motorcycle again, because how could we not? And then we'll get this crystal ball thing. Scout, Tenderfoot. Oh, wow. Sorry. I was a Weebelo. I stopped after Weebelo.
Yeah, my son quit after whatever comes after Weeblo.
My problem, the reason that I quit is all the people I knew from my little pack had also quit. And that was a total waste of the bike. Hey, look at that. The cane lets you fly around. This seems really good. But you know, any little flinch, like somebody sneezes on you and the cane will disappear. So, oh, it just wore off over time. That wasn't so bad. Icky doesn't remember what he was. Do they have that the exact same Boy Scouts organization in your country, Lau?
I think Boy Scouts is international, isn't it?
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, but it probably is. So that's kind of cool. Something that we can all have in common. Spazpole says they don't. I remember Boy Scouts, the organization, got in trouble for a while for being all homophobic, but didn't they eventually get over it? I think they might have changed their policies. Oh,
they did.
Alright, let's... Oh my gosh, the jumping is frustrating. But I survived. Thank goodness. Just run. Considering that you lose your items so quickly... Uh-oh, what does that do? Ah, look at that. The ball, it threw out... It's making little copy Alex's, and it's totally wasted, by the way. But... Interesting item. Ah. Yeah, dealing with the momentum of your jumps is certainly a challenge. No, thank you. Foreground objects. Let's see what this looks like in the other mode. Oh, that's a lot easier with no foreground objects. Oh, a ring. I definitely want that. Let's go back to... No! Couldn't get it without landing on the spikes. That's what I was afraid of. Oh, well that's good, Spaz. Yeah, we've talked about the shenanigans of that particular organization before. Oh no, this time the death guy came. Rude. Uh-oh. Who's this little guy? Haha, you fell? He's not even saying you fell for it, he's just saying you fell. The pixel art version of him looks pretty good. Or the old school version. Hey, get back here. Ah! He lured me out. It was easier than I expected. If you want to save your life, give us everything you have. No, I'm not going to give you anything. Haha. Would you prefer to fight against me? Oh no, I have to actually fight him. And he raised his sword in the air and it killed me. Yeah, I guess that's right, Lyle. Oh, and it started me all the way back with no money. You saying right then? No, I don't have turbo on my jump button. I only have it on the attack button. Let's see. I was planning to go a little bit longer. But... Uh-oh.
What he said.
I guess it might be. This is scary, though. If I just had a guide to follow, this game would be a cinch to play through. No, I think maybe it wanted me to do something else. It's a beautiful game, isn't it, BX Latino Heat? Ah! Oh, great. Well, let's just go over it then. I've also been playing a game called Strange Brigade that I am reviewing for Co-Optimus. It was on Xbox Game Pass for... That sucked. It was on Xbox Game Pass for a while, and then it left it. But I'm playing the Switch version that has only just come out. I don't remember... Oh, I remember now what I had to do. I had to jump around the edge to get on top, because, yeah, there's no getting around this otherwise. And then I fell off, because it's so finicky. Fiddly. All those things and more.
supposed to say fiddly sticks.
I was not familiar with that expression.
Prove to the youngins how old you are.
I'm not so old that I played this when it came out, but actually it's just because I had an NES, but not a Sega Master System.
So
Did you own one?
realize you just contradicted your statement, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm just being silly. But did you have a Master System?
Nah, I only had the NES back then.
God! Same thing. Same thing. I got the ring and I died from it. They knew what I meant. Thank you, boys. Yeah, I really want to get back to the boss and give it one more shot. I feel like we should do that. Ah, your friend had a Sega Master System. Nice. So punching the skull blocks, it just seems to stun you. It doesn't necessarily let out the bad guy, which is what I was afraid of. Oh, you own one now. How cool. I don't think I've ever actually had a real Master System. I did collect a few Master System games for a while, and I played them on the Genesis through the power-based converter, which I sold to a friend a couple years ago. The Master System had a lot of really cool games, including some arcade ports and stuff that people probably haven't heard of. Like there was a Master System version of Pit Fighter and Golden Axe. And sometimes they were good ports and sometimes they weren't. But I find ports of games very interesting in general. Just when there's changes and things. I hate this part. Just jump around the edge, you little so-and-so. Have you been up to anything else today, Tom?
Nah, just working. Came home, took a nap, and then basically this.
Oh my gosh, this is so fiddly. It's driving me nuts. TurboGrafx 16 came out after the NES, that's true. Okay. Alright, I made it.
That's what began the 16-bit wars.
That is
true. The
true.
greatest time in video game history.
It was a really enjoyable time. Games were pretty exciting back then.
There were so many great games.
Ah! 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 Ugh. At least there was a checkpoint. Brandy's frustrated too, and she's not even paying attention.
The cat is on.
Oh. Kitten's being hyper, and she's getting frustrated by that.
Yeah. Because he's scratched the hell
Oh, no, move, Paul! Ah! That almost killed me. Alright, let's see what's in this question box. Yay, a ring! That's what I needed. Thank you. Maybe I'll have a hope of beating the boss with this thing. I don't even want to go talk to this guy. You fell. I'm surprised they didn't fix the dialogue for that, because you fell is not proper English. Why do I have to say no to him?
How's you fell not proper English?
That
That's
sucks.
what you say when someone falls.
I'm not sure Texas is very woke.
Yeah, definitely not something anyone would describe Texas as being.
Yeah, I might venture that more than half of our population is woke, but I wouldn't say that gets proven at the polls because of gerrymandering and all that kind of stuff. So the criminals at the top, unfortunately, are the opposite.
You mean the fact that they redistricting lets 1% of the population control 90% of the votes? What
Yeah,
could
something
possibly
like
go
that.
wrong with that?
So when he lifts his sword, is that when I'm supposed to attack him? I can tell you that this sucks. But yeah, it looks like his sword goes up and you have to hit him. Sarcasm and wealth don't carry well in chat. Well, you know, if you are wealthy, then you can stomp on the people below you, apparently. Not that necessarily every wealthy person does that, but enough of them do for it to be a problem. Ah! Oh, that sucked. There we go. I mean, I was having fun hanging out with everybody, but if I can't beat this boss, then it all has to come crashing down. There's no other way around it, Tom.
Sure there is. Get good, as they say.
What's the vaccine lottery, Royal Bob? Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm gonna die here. Yep, died.
Some states are doing some crazy things to get people to get their shots, including actual lotteries.
But I thought Royal Bob was already vaccinated. Were you seriously not already vaccinated, Royal Bob?
Maybe he was waiting for the lottery.
Waiting for the incentives. Our state is more likely to pay you not to vaccinate yourself.
True. Of course, did you hear about the Texas messing with people's thermostats?
With our own peoples, you mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're apparently adjusting thermostats without their permission.
Oh, dang. Yeah, that's really messed up. Yeah, the organization that controls our power grid is extremely corrupt and inept. And therefore, we've been having all these problems lately. And yeah, all of it could have easily been predicted and avoided. But, again, the people at the top are not interested in running things efficiently. They're not interested in doing the job they're supposed to do. They're only interested in
No, they're doing the
creating...
job they're supposed to, which is the one that they were put in there by the people who hired them to do.
Well,
Unfortunately, it's just you and the average person is not the ones that hired them.
but that's the thing. Their job is to benefit all the people, and instead they only want to benefit the top people and actually hurt all the other people. And that sucks.
You're assuming the job they're doing is the job you know about. The job they're doing is the one they got paid to do, which has nothing to do with the one that you know about.
Hey, Simu, I'm glad you're alive. I was just thinking about you, Simu. Been posting some interesting pictures without context on Facebook.
It's the best kind.
I think I saw a Happy Father's Day picture for him, though. Yeah, and I kept messing up on that part. There's no getting around a high death count in this game. Like, this game is all about dying and hurting your soul. Because I'm afraid it's very
Game of life?
something like that. It's very discouraging, this game. And I do like it, but if I was playing this on my own, I would stop and watch a video of somebody playing through the level before I played it myself, and I'd probably have a lot more fun that way. Because there's so much trial and error.
If I was playing on my own, I probably would have quit and go play something else.
Aw. I don't mind. I love me a good platformer, but... It's... God. Again,
I
it's
have too many games to worry about games that aren't balanced.
Yeah, certainly not the most balanced game ever. So everybody's heard about the new Dark Alliance game that came out, which is not even related to the old Dark Alliance games, so it shouldn't be called that.
And yep, I also heard that it's not that good.
Yeah, it's apparently very janky, but I'm still just interested in trying it, like maybe because of morbid curiosity or whatever, but I still want to give it a shot.
It's supposed to be boring, repetitive, and broken. That's essentially what the reviews are saying.
Yeah, the enemy AI is especially bad, apparently. Unusually bad.
And apparently it doesn't help that they basically only have like 20 different enemies in the entire game.
Not that many types, is that what you're saying?
They're basically just cloned enemies.
Yeah, and
There's
robots...
literally just 20 variants of the same thing.
Huh. Icky says it's rough.
Yep. And Bob
hit him
saying
once.
It feels like Vermintide. But at least Vermintide is kind of fun when you're playing with friends. But apparently this game is so jank that you don't even want to try it by yourself.
Oh god, this game's tough. Yeah, that's too bad. But I'm sure it is still better with friends. Oh. I got hit by one of the stupid little monkeys' unavoidable projectiles. And died. And by the way, that was 100 times easier with the projectile. So let's hope it actually spawned here. Nope, instead the death guy spawned. Why not? You're talking about in Dark Alliance, Lyle? Lyle, don't delete it because I still want to try it.
Why do you like playing bad games? Everybody's 1 year away from it and you still want to do it anyway.
I'm just curious about it.
There are so many good
over
games
him.
you could be playing.
Yeah, that's true. It's weird. I guess I feel sorry for a game that's getting picked on. I might be a way to describe
That's
it.
the sad part. It's not being picked on. It's all true. It'd be one thing if it was getting picked on.
Yeah, I did it! I beat the guy! Achievement! Oh, thank you. That was so hard.
The messed
Can
up
I
thing is that game had so many options. It was,
Oh my gosh.
and it came from it's an established lore. It came from an established franchise, and then
Look at
it
this.
ignored all of it.
We're on a boat. Well, I mean, you get to play as the famous characters, but yeah, it doesn't sound like it's designed
Yeah,
around
but it doesn't-
D&D very well.
No, not at all. And the fun, and as far as playing around those characters, you're playing around them in skin only, meaning yes, it's the characters, but only in their appearance. Nothing about
Dang it.
their story or their adventure.
Well, that's
There's
too bad.
There's no real reason to play as them.
But I want to be Drizzit. I like Drizzit. Don't you like Drizzit?
That sounds like something very different, and that I'm going to say no to.
The Drizzle from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It's also got Bruner Battlehammer, Katie Bree, and somebody else that I don't know.
That's my favorite character. Somebody else that you don't know.
There you go.
Awesome.
Thank you, Vinny.
Especially in that thing you don't remember.
It's probably the Barbarian guy. I'm not sure, but love that. I'm getting pretty far along. Can I save and quit? I don't want to have to do this all in one go. Look at all the different things I've collected. I've got a Sega Master System, and oh, I think that thing that looked like a piece of paper was actually the Master System cartridge, or like the box for it, not the cartridge. So that's kind of interesting. Saving wasn't invented until 2015. No, because I've definitely had enough. I need to look into that if there's some kind of autosave or something. But let's look at the old school version first. Here's the desert, old school desert version. Not bad. Music's catchy. It's very catchy. And the trees look kind of like Sonic trees. A lot different like this. So everybody, we've been playing Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX for Xbox. It's also on PlayStation, Switch, and Steam. It is a really beautiful remake of the classic Sega Master System game that's also very challenging. I mean, like, wow, it's really tough. But it wasn't so hard that I couldn't get as far as I've gotten, so that's something. I mean, I beat several levels and bosses and things that I didn't think I'd be able to. So that was fun. I had a good time with it. If you like classic games, you may want to give it a look. It's $20. Tom, thanks for co-hosting with me tonight.
Always a pleasure.
Remember, we stream every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. During the summer, we are also streaming on Wednesdays like tonight. So you got 2 chances to hang out with me every week, and it's been great hanging out with all of you. Thanks again for joining us, and remember, don't hate, appreciate. I'm glad Tyler stopped by. He's not that much of an SOB. Good to see you, Vinny VT, Royal Bob, Icky, BX Latino Heat, Simu Chippewa, Mongbox, Spazpole, and I feel like there's one other I'm forgetting maybe. But you guys are all rad. Yes, so good hanging out with you all. Don't forget to read my articles at Co-Optimus every day, okay guys? You can easily find the link in our Discord. We've got a channel that's just article links. Or you can just go up to Co-Optimus and most of the articles you find there will be mine because I'm the main writer right now.